don't know these people at all. You know, they're not the same as me, genetically, you know, even. But no, I'm like the hidden Trump daughter. You know how like Vladimir Putin has like a secret daughter and she ended up coming out in the news and stuff? That's me on the Trump side as well. And they hate my guts. Melania is literally the evil stepmother. Her and her fucking bitch ass, fucking Russian ass, fucking, you know, clique crew have been tormenting me for years. For years. And this goes back to Florida, man. Ooh, confirmation. This goes back to Florida. And it's such a fucked up situation. If I told you the real, like, what is going on behind the scenes with this fucking cult, you wouldn't believe me. Melania is oh my god, she's such a whore. Let me tell you a funny story, okay? So she's a whore. You have to be a whore to be into the cult, which is why I didn't pass the test. I wouldn't have a threesome with my colleagues at the CIA. I just didn't want to have group sex with my coworkers, you know, like that should have been fine, you know what I mean? But to them, no, you have to be willing to not only engage in these orgies, these group sex rituals. You have to be willing, basically, if you're part of this cult, if you're a celebrity, your door has to be open at all times for any of these guys to come fuck you whenever they want. So like Alicia Silverstone would be a good example. She just a few months ago had an interview on some sort of talk show, and she was like, oh my god, Donald Trump wanted to have a meeting, and I was like, ew, no. I'm like, bitch, you can't say no.
Why do you keep looking at me? Why do you keep staring at me?
Liars, you know?
Like, no, you're looking at me in the eyes, dude.
If you want to have
that's weird, man.
role in that cult, and trust
it's really weird, dude.
Meghan Markle, you know? I could have been,
I'm not a movie to be looked at, man.
I don't remember her name. Middleton, I guess, is her name. I could have been, really, you know, I mean, all these celebrities had access to me. Many. John Mayer, Johnny Depp is involved. Who else turned me down? They all turned me down because I didn't want anything to do with the sex club. That's why. I don't party enough. I'm not willing to just let these guys
fucking weirdo just staring
whatever
at me
they
over
fucking
here, man.
want and sit there like a fucking puppet.
These robots are insane,
they
girl.
go fuck everything in sight and go do just party. That's all they do. That's all they do. Right? They're all on fucking heavy drugs. All they fucking do is blow money and party. That's all they do. And then they do these interviews on TV like they're like upstanding citizens and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, these are a bunch of fucking con artists. They're the frat boys, right? And I'm not interested in a motherfucking frat boy. I just said, you know what? I'll just be single, right? I'll just be single and happy, right? And that's not good enough. You're not allowed to reject the frat boys. They will fucking abduct you, drug you, put you in a fucking surgery, install a Neuralink, right? Because you can't block the frat boys. You're not allowed. They'll put a Neuralink in your fucking brain so that they can contact you anytime they fucking feel like it. And that's how all this shit started, right? Somehow they left on the fucking Neuralink on the group chat where they were talking about ending the fucking world and killing everybody. And I'm like, whoa, they're talking about knocking the planet off its axis. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Right? This isn't a fucking video game. But apparently it is. You know? So I'm out here trying to tell people, like, yo, and thankfully, well, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yo, just so happens I actually did work for the government. I actually do have high-level security clearances. Right? I am actually a vetted and cleared individual with zero criminal history, zero history of mental health issues, nothing. I have lived a very straight and narrow life. I don't even have a speeding ticket. Nothing. Right? Nothing. The only thing in my history is I had a red light, not a red light, a fucking headlight, a headlight out. I got a ticket for that, and I got a $20 ticket for leaving my car parked in a beach parking lot one night when I took a fucking Uber home. That's it. That's my criminal history. Right? I have none. Right? I have clearances with NATO and everything else. So I'm like, okay, for sure, somebody is going to listen to me based on my credentials, right? Somebody is going to pay attention to me. Somebody's going to want to hear this. No. Because I wasn't part of their sex club. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And look now. The planet is irreversibly damaged. Why? Because a bunch of fucking crackhead frat boys and their bitches thought that it was fucking funny. And they're so deranged and on so many fucking drugs, they're just high as a fucking kite 24/7. They literally convinced themselves that they were going to be able to get on a fucking rocket ship and go to fucking Mars. I'm not even fucking joking you. I'm not even joking you. But the funny joke about all of this is Mars isn't even a real planet. It was made up. It's a lie. So Mars never existed. And then if you look up Mars, you'll see that it's not inhabitable. It's radioactive. It has no oxygen, no water, no nothing, right? And there's no way to get there because they can't break through the firmament. We just don't have the materials to build a spaceship to get through the firmament. We don't have it. We don't have it on this planet. It's not available to us. The reality was the reptilians were going to be picked up. The head honchos, right? It's called the low six is what it is. And they're all competing for a spot to be in the low six, which means that the you know, the worst of the worst, the most evil, whoever could kill the most people, whoever could cause the most damage, whoever could steal the most money, whoever could truly just be the most deranged motherfucker on earth. They're having a competition, right? So it's a competition in the Skull and Bones, which is a secret society outside of the Freemasons, right? So you have the Freemasons, which like everybody and their fucking mama is part of the Freemasons now. They opened that shit up to any motherfucking bum on the streets. It used to be like Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Freemason, and that used to be a very high ranking, coveted position in the Freemasons. Now, oh my God, all of these crackheads walking around here are 33rd degree Freemasons, literally. So, anyways, it was a competition in the Skull and Bones, which is still locked down, right? You're not just going to be able to get into the Skull and Bones. You have to be a bad motherfucker, right? So, anyway, they're competing for a position, right, a seat on a spaceship where their reptilian buddies were going to come from another planet, Planet X, Planet Nuru, or whatever the fuck they call it, and get them, only 6. And they were going to take one biological female with them, only for purposes of reproduction, a real human. And guess who it was? Me.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy, girl. That's crazy.
They wanted me. And the reason they wanted me is because of my genetics. They again, it's the Nazis and they're perfectionists, and they studied every aspect of every bitch in the cult, right? They needed somebody that had, you know, the brown DNA, but the white appearance, which they perfected in me, because I look like a fucking white girl. And when you run my fucking DNA, you see that I am anything but, right? I've got DNA from every fucking continent. I'm Iranian, I'm Asian, I'm African, I'm Mexican, I'm Native American, and I'm black, right? That's my real DNA. But I'm also mixed. They threw in Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton to whitewash me, right? To make me like a perfect wife, a catalog girl for these white boys, right? And I don't get along with these motherfucking white boys. I don't get along with nobody. Right? Because I don't fit into any race. Even though I'm every race. They all fucking hate me. Right? But anyways, that's what happened. So, at some point, I was sold to the Bidens from the Epstein family. And I was going to be married off to one of their sons. And I didn't pass the test. They tested me when I was working for the CIA to see if I would be a whore or not, and I wasn't. So they said, nope, she's no good. They sent me to Afghanistan. They didn't send me. They offered me the job to go to Afghanistan, and I accepted it with my own free will.
That's crazy.
And when I got there, these motherfucking assholes staged a fucking false flag event over there and proceeded to sit behind the scenes and fire fucking missiles and rockets at me all fucking day and all fucking night. Literally, and they killed a bunch of Americans.
I believe it.
On the base, doing this, playing this fucking game, right?
These people are crazy.
So anyway, what they wanted was certain genetics. They wanted certain genetics. They wanted good health, which my health is very, very good. I'm not perfect. I've had, I can catch a cold. I'm a human, I've had strep throat, UTIs, stuff like that, normal human illnesses. But as far as, like, strength, health, longevity, I had the genetics they were looking for. I have the Jesus strand in my DNA as well, which is very coveted, and none of their bitches have it. Just me. And because of that, I cannot reproduce with reptilians. Isn't that wild? So anyway, they've stolen my DNA, and they have created their own little race of, like, kids. I got fucking, well, they're not my kids, right? They're just genetically related to me by genetics only because they stole my DNA. They stole my eggs as well. I have scars in my hips because I didn't know what was going on. Like, I had these bumps on both hips, and I'm like, this was in my 20s, and they just randomly came out of nowhere. And I go to the dermatologist thinking I've got, like, skin cancer or something is wrong. And she looks at him and she goes, those are injection site scars. You don't take, like, insulin or any other medications, through injections? I'm like, no. Like, I've never injected myself with anything ever in my whole life. And she's like, no, those are injection site scars. I'm like, how the fuck did I get injection site scars in my hips? And then come to find out, they were injecting with hormones and harvesting my eggs. So they did a bunch of shit, man, a bunch of shit. And then ended up on this journey, I met a few girls that are in their, like, early 20s that were biologically my children, but I don't know these girls. I don't care about them, and both of them tried to murder me. Take one spot. It's a hot mess. It's a real hot mess. But yeah, they're calling me their baby mama, right? And when I say frat boys, I'm talking about the most famous motherfuckers you could think of out here calling me their baby mama, telling their Mason buddies that they have a right to fucking torture me.
That's crazy.
They're teaching me a lesson because I stepped out of line and I'm their baby mama. Bitch, I ain't your fucking baby mama, right? And my daughter is not theirs. They're trying to claim genetically or whatever that my daughter is theirs, and that's why they have the right to kidnap her. No, she's not. She is a human being. She's human, right? And I already know who the father is.
One item, one bag more.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
One.
Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
That they used the
Thank you.
DNA of 12 of the frat boys to make my baby. And that would make them all baby daddies, right? And how much fucking child support or anything ever, right? Ever, right? And I don't want child support. Let me tell you what they do. Oh my god. Oh my god.
10 over here, 11 here.
Okay, thanks.
Running around the planet. Okay. All the ideas. Like, some of them can still crank out kids if they have certain, in their body, it just depends, right? But a lot of them are infertile. So IVF became a huge thing. So what they're doing is they're creating embryos where it's
12,
Elon's
13,
baby,
14,
right? Or Jack
15,
Smith's baby,
16,
or
17,
Prince William's
18,
baby, right?
19, 20, 21.
And they are taking these embryos and implanting them. These husbands think that that's their baby, and it's Elon Musk's baby. And that's their God.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think we're missing one.
Sir, next to now here, something broken glass. You can check over here, over there. Nobody here, this glass broken. That's all. It's okay.
I'm not slamming it, man. I'm not slamming it on glass. It's not gonna break, dude. It's not gonna break, man. Trust me. It's not gonna break. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Thank you.
Thank you.
They're not able to like grow up. Look at the teenagers we have running around now. They're not able to grow up and even work at like Walmart or McDonald's, like back in the day. Stuff like that. These kids are not able to do that. There's 0% chance that they would be able to run a corporation or
drive west, then turn right onto 76th Avenue West.
They don't want to work.
Drive west, then turn right onto 76th Avenue West. Drive west.
Fucking idiots.
Right onto